Okay, welcome to our Route to Recovery series. I'm your host, John Kmitta, Associate Publisher and Editorial Brand Director of SportsField Management magazine. My guest today is Ben Polimer. Ben is Fields and Grounds Coordinator for the town of Weston, Massachusetts, and he's also President of the New England Sports Turf Managers Association. Welcome, Ben.
Hi, John. Thanks for being glad I'm here.
Yeah, thanks for joining me. Just wanted to kind of get your take, and if you could start off a little bit, tell us about the fields that you manage, fields and facilities, your workforce, and how that's been impacted by the pandemic. And have you been deemed essential? What's been kind of the overall impact on you guys?
Sure. So I've been deemed essential. I work directly through our facilities department in town, so we deal with both indoor spaces and outside spaces. I deal probably 70 to 80% of my work is through the school department. And with the school department, we have our buildings and grounds custodial and ground staff. So my staff has been deemed essential. We are on a reduced workforce at this point. I normally have a group of 3 groundsmen that work for me through my schools. We're down to 1 guy per day, 8-hour shift. So accomplishing tasks are a little more difficult, obviously. I spend most of my time in the office now with our staffing level. I've been spending more time outside in a dump truck, whether I was in an infield machine. We just started mowing here. Yesterday was our first mow of the year. So because things are still pretty cold here up in Massachusetts. So we're actually in a good spot agronomic wise that we're not really going like gangbusters even with our low staffing. So our it's the new normal, I guess, for now.
Yeah. So how many fields do you have total that you're managing?
So about 50 acre space in the town. I have about 27 acres or so of school fields or school fields that are shared by a recreation department, give or take. We have some sand-based fields. We have mostly native soil fields, some higher use fields than others. Right now the schools are now closed in Massachusetts for the rest of the year, so that has certainly changed our philosophy. We'd be lining baseball fields now and fertilizing and doing all that kind of stuff. So it's certainly changed our philosophy going forward, and we just don't know what's going to happen as far as summertime is concerned.
Sure. What kind of public activity have you seen on your fields, or have you had to close any of your fields to the public? What's your approach there?
So our recreation properties are open for individuals with social distancing and small family activities. Our school grounds are closed. We had a warm spell here back about 2 weeks ago, when we had many people out on tennis courts, basketball courts, on playing fields. Our school committee decided it was not a good thing to have it, so the school committee closed down our school grounds completely. And I know that if you're trespassing on our school grounds, you're liable for a fine.
Okay. Have you started any planning for how you'll approach it when your athletic fields are reopened, or trying to get them ramped back up for actual athletic purposes?
Yeah, so we've made the determination we've not fertilized anything for the springtime. Right now we'd be fertilizing for our spring sports. I've held back on any of our fertilizers to kind of just slow growth down as much as possible. We work with a great group of vendors, and he is just, I said, listen, we can't do fertilizer right now, but when and if we allow people back on fields and summer camps and youth groups, youth sports, that we can ramp up fairly quickly. So that's what we've done so far. And we're hopefully our staffing level is going to go back to normal. May 4th has always been the date that the Massachusetts governor has kind of set as a date we're looking forward to maybe come back to normal. I don't think so right now. I'm looking more towards June 1. But we're still working on other potential projects now that we, I guess, already other work done now that we don't have any obstacles with lots of pedestrians, school children, cars, all that kind of stuff. Parking lots are empty.
Sure. What are you hearing from other field managers, or are you getting questions from other field managers, or what's the advice you'd give to others, agronomic or otherwise?
I'm hearing a little bit of everything. Us in the public sector get pushed and pulled in different directions, and they're used for different resources. I know some of my counterparts are getting used by emergency personnel for working with their boards of health, their fire department, their police departments. Continuity of government is certainly important in the public sector. Other people, I know some of our counterparts manage town cemeteries, and unfortunately, they're burying people with COVID-19. So it's real for a lot of different people.
Mm-hmm.
I think some people are just starting to get, like I said, around here, just starting to get active as far as growing season. So people are kind of taking it slow. I've heard some people are doing split shifts. I've heard some people are doing 1 week on, 1 week off. Disinfecting equipment and vehicles has certainly been a topic. I had a conversation with a landscape contractor this morning, and how they are dealing with operations now, just being different. And we're doing no different. We've been doing it for probably about over a month now, maybe 6 weeks or so, disinfecting vehicles, disinfecting tractors, hand tools. We're not sharing vehicles. We're not sharing hand tools. Disinfecting doorknobs, garage doors. It seems like kind of the new way of life now.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Is there anything I might not have touched on that you wanted to add, or anything else you'd like to share with others in terms of this whole route to recovery?
Yeah, it's certainly different for certain people, whether it's public sector, private sector. Private schools certainly have different issues than the public side. College sports. Hopefully, college sports will come back. Professional sports will come back. Everyone has their challenges, and this is a health crisis. Sports turf comes second, third, fourth, fifth. Family's certainly important. Our frontline workers, nurses, doctors, police, fire, they're the heroes, certainly not us. We're just managing facilities as best we can during this crisis. So, I wish people good luck and this out there. And I really see the industry kind of coming together and helping people. Not that we don't before, but even more so helping each other out on what's happening.
Sure. I appreciate you taking the time this morning, and hopefully we get to meet in person sometime soon. And
sure.
Thanks again for all the info and the feedback, and stay safe.
You too. Thanks, John.
Thanks.